Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining once again for a new publication of results of LatinNCAP. In this case, it's going to be the sixth publication of the year, and it's going to be on the phase 15 of results. The cars we have tested in this opportunity, and starting with our usual video, we tested the Renault Kardian with 6 airbag standard made in Brazil, and the Renault Sandero Logan stepway family with 4 airbags standard made in Argentina, Colombia, and Brazil. So Renault Kardian made in Brazil and the Renault Sandero Logan stepway family made in Argentina, Brazil, and Colombia. So the results are for the Renault Kardian 4 stars in safety in general, with a promising good performance of the car. We are now going to dive into the results. The frontal test at normal speed and the frontal test now in slow motion. We found a stable structure in the car, the area of footwall area with an unstable structure. When it comes to the adult protections, only we have to say that there's a marginal protection for the chest of the driver that potentially we understand it can be improved. When it comes to the child occupant protection, we have seen that both child dummies were installed rearward facing, which is following the global best practices using the ISOFIX, in this case iSize connectors, and offering in general a very good performance in the protection of the child occupants. And when it comes to the frontal test, we noticed a slight chest high deceleration for the smaller dummy, but overall good protection in the frontal. We're now watching the side impact in real speed and now in slow motion. The car has standard Cortin and side body airbags, and both of them showed a good performance in the protection of the occupant, of the adult occupant, and the side impact. We noticed a high intrusion in the compartment of the occupants, and this is something we would like to see improved from the manufacturer. And when it comes to the side impact protection, we also noticed an exposure of the head of the child dummy of the 3-year-old, and on the side impact that needs to be improved as well, and that explains a little bit why this vehicle could not score all the points in the dynamic of the child occupant. So now watching the pole impact, this vehicle has standard Cortin and side body airbags, and it showed a good performance in general. Just when it comes to the protection of the adult with a marginal chest protection, but the head has good protection in the pole impact. This is a very difficult scenario and a very challenging scenario for the restraint systems and the passive safety of the car itself. We are now going to move into the next assessment of this car. In this case, we are moving to the whiplash. The whiplash, of course, showed marginal protection for the neck in the rear impact. We are watching the slow motion video now, and we're moving now to the pedestrians protection. The head showed most of the areas adequate and good, only with poor protection when it comes to the A-pillar and the edge of the windscreen. On the upper leg, in general, poor and weak protection, but the lower leg showed good protection for the pedestrian assessments. We are watching now the ESC from the inside of the car with the robot and all the systems without any problems. And we're watching now the Moose test in both conditions without any challenges for this vehicle as well. Autonomous emergency braking system in this car is optional, but in levels good and high enough to score points in LatinNCAP. We have seen the car-to-car performances of the systems are really robust and offering good performances in general, with good warning systems for the driver. And when it comes to different scenarios, so we are seeing now the moving target and high-speed approach also showing a good performance. The Renault Sandero Logan stepway was tested in 2019, but now updated in 2024 with 0 stars, just to highlight the poor protection in the pole impact for the head and weak protection in both side scenarios. Frontal crash is the same from 2019, no changes since then. The car has an unstable structure and stable footwell area. Important to say that when it comes to the frontal test, the adult protection, especially in the chest, showed for both adults marginal protection. For the child occupants, they installed the rear facing only for the Q1.5, and the Q3-year-old was forward facing, showing a poor performance of poor protection for the neck of the child dummy of the 3-year-old, which is not desirable. And of course, it's not following the rearward facing position recommended as a global best practices. We are now going for the side impact, high speed or normal speed. The side impact, the vehicle has side thorax head protection or thorax head airbags as standard. Remember that they were updated in 2019, and those airbags, in principle, we were expected to have better performance when it comes to the side impact. Those airbags offer weak protection for the chest. And when it comes to the child occupant protection, we also have seen areas that can be improved. However, overall, they offered good protection. High intrusion in the compartment, which is something not desirable, and we would like to see that being improved by Renault for the next or oncoming vehicles. Pole impact scenario was tested again in 2024, and despite the thorax head airbag, the protection for the head was poor and weak for the chest. This shows that the restraint system, is not performing as expected or is not offering the expected protection. This crash scenario, as you know, is a very demanding one, and it's a very challenging scenario for the restraint systems. But even though the restraint system should have been working better and offering better protection in these cases. When it comes to whiplash or rear impact, in this case, the car showed marginal protection for the neck. And of course, this is something we expected to be improved. And when it comes to pedestrian protection in general, most of the impacts for the head impact areas, it's other quite very small, good performing areas and poor performing areas towards the A-pillars. The upper leg with poor and good protection, and the lower leg with adequate and good protection in general. The car does not have ESC standard, even though it's in production with ESC as standards, but the unit that we purchased in 2024, the vehicle has no ESC, so therefore ESC score was 0. And on top of that, we have noticed that the silver reminders also will not score at all. That's why the safety assist box is 0%, and that explains parts of the 0 stars as well as the adult occupant protection box. As a summary of results, the Renault Kardian, we have seen a 4-star result in this car with a stable structure, good performance for the adult and child protection overall. When it comes to pedestrian protection, we have seen also a good performance in terms of passive safety, but that can be improved with autonomous emergency braking systems that can detect and brake also with pedestrian or vulnerable road users, which is not, the possibility is not an option in this version at this moment. When it comes to safety assist in general, the score was okay, and from our perspective, if the car is improved in the pedestrian protection, this car has a very good potential and very good, let's say, performances in general to achieve a better star rating. When it comes to the Renault Sandero was rated in 2019 with the old protocol, and we updated the car. Is still available for sale, and we tested again and reassessed the car according to 2024, in this case achieving 0 stars with a poor performance in general for the adult protection in the side impact scenarios. Also not so good performance for the child occupants, a low performance for the pedestrian, and a 0 point in terms of the safety assist due to the absence of ESC as standard. As from our readings, we understand that Renault Sandero will eventually might be replaced by the Kardian. And if that's the case, then this is a very good symptom that the manufacturer has decisively changed their policy and decisively changed the perspective on the markets, and if our readings are okay that the Kardian will replace the Sandero family, we understand that this is a very good move and a promising direction from Renault for the future, which is something we are pleased to see, and we would like to see also in other manufacturers reacting in the same direction. This is the end of our 6th publication of results, and before we say goodbye, we would like to thank very much our supporters: Bloomberg Philanthropies, FI Foundation, Towards Zero Foundation, Global NCAP, also ICRT and IADB. Thank you so much for your support, and we hope to see you soon in our next publication of results, which is going to take place in just a few days from now. Thank you very much. Until next time. Bye-bye.